show you how to Photoshop a floor plan and elevations. So you're going to want to start by opening the PDF of your floor plan or elevation in Photoshop. You're going to want to open the furniture plan. And it'll have you, when you open a PDF, it just has you select the image. If your file has multiple pages, make sure you select the appropriate page and hit OK. So it brings it in as sort of a PNG with a transparent background, which is helpful, but you're just going to focus on photoshopping the plan area, so you don't need the title block or the north arrow at this time. So you can go ahead and crop that out by using the crop function. We have no dimensions or anything required on this. We're just completing this for aesthetics right now. Okay, so now we have our cropped floor plan. I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to drag it underneath, and I'm going to just fill this with white because for me, it's just easier to see the floor plan. So basically just making a white background. The next thing I'm going to do is duplicate the floor plan, our furniture plan. And I'm going to bring it down to the bottom and I'm going to lock it. Basically, I just want to preserve a copy of my furniture plan just in case something happens to this one. So when you start doing this, you'll see how many layers you get, and you may have already noticed as you're working in Photoshop, the layers get chaotic. They're hard to keep straight. So it's important to stay organized and yeah. Okay, so basically the goal of this is to create a fully color rendered floor plan in Photoshop. Sometimes you may have to clean things up a bit. I'm seeing some of these like transparent or these lines here at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm on my correct plan, and I'm going to erase those and draw myself a new line to act as sort of a bounding box for every room. So if you use the line tool, it will make a smart object, or you can use the pencil tool and make sure you have basically a simple brush and pretty small. I'd say, let's try like 3 pixels. I'm not sure the size for this one. And I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to click right here on the corner. I'm going to hold shift down, and I'm going to, you can click release, hold shift down and click again, and it will create that solid line for you. Oh, did you see it sort of is like a gray color? My flow is only 54%. So I'm going to change that to 100. I believe I was messing with that before. Click, shift key, click, and it creates a nice little line for you. So I can do the same thing with the eraser, where I'm clicking and I'm going to click, shift, click, and it erases that little line. So I'm going to make a line on every room because when you go to add flooring, let's say, my bathroom might have different flooring, and I'm going to put this one right in the middle of the wall, like a true flooring transition would be, versus, the exterior is kind of going to go to the exterior of the house. So anywhere you want flooring transitions, you're going to want to put a line, because you're using, I like to use the selection tool for this to do a fill pattern for my flooring. So I'm just kind of prepping my document. And again, I'm drawing these lines on the same layer as my furniture plan. If you use the line tool, it creates a second, like a smart object. You're going to have to merge those in order to have them be part of the same document. So I just think it's quicker to use the paintbrush tool for this one. Okay, I think that is good. I'm gonna have the same flooring throughout my entire house. If I wanted carpet in the bedroom, then I would add another line here, but I don't. So I think we're good there. I may go in and delete the rug outlines later, but right now I'm just going to leave those. And okay, let's go ahead and get started. So this is the fun part. I actually think this is really fun. I'm going to start with something easy like the countertops. So let's first talk about materials. You're going to spend a lot of time searching for materials for this project. So eventually you're going to want to develop your own material repository. I have a Cybox folder that I keep everything in. This one. I'm not the most organized with my materials. I have them in a few different places. So you're going to use materials in Photoshop, SketchUp, and other programs. So it's important to keep them organized. It is handy when you have them organized. But like I have various fabrics. I think I have marble in here though. Let's look. Marble fabric I don't want. Maybe it's under Carrera. Oh, I know I have marble. Might be in a different folder. I have multiple files, folders. I have a Dropbox account and a Cybox account. So it looks like some of my materials are in my Dropbox. Here we go. Again, I am not organized. I highly recommend spending time and keeping your materials organized, because when you want to go back and I still can't find it. Well, let's just look for a swatch of marble. So I'm going to look for Calcutta marble. It's my favorite. You're going to look for images, and you want high-res images. So you can look for textures. You can also get actual images. So I'm going to first select under tools, select size and large. I want large, high-res images. This one looks pretty good. So I'm going to take this image and I'm just going to right-click and say open image in new tab. And then I'm going to save this image as, and I'm going to save it in my file folder. Okay, so I've got marble. Now what I need to do is I essentially just need to bring that marble into my Photoshop document. So let's start by finding where we save that here. And I'm just literally going to drag and drop it. It's going to look crazy. It's a little pixelated, which it shouldn't be, because that was a large image. So, but that's okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically just move this so it kind of covers all of my counters in my kitchen. I'm going to hit enter to place it, and then I'm going to drag it underneath. So this might be a little large in scale. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do two different iterations of this. So I'm going to make this a bit smaller and just do the island first. So I want to have something that looks, like the texture that I'm going for, and I want it to live on my island. So I'm going to make this small, hit enter. That looks good. I want to rasterize this layer because I need to be able to delete elements. And again, I drug it so it's underneath the furniture plan. Next, I'm going to use my selection or my magic wand tool, and I'm going to just select in the furniture plan inside my island. Now I'm going to go to select the select menu and select inverse. So it selects the opposite of what I have selected, if that makes sense. You can see it has the whole rest of the plan selected. And then I'm going to click to my Calcutta marble layer, and I'm just going to hit delete, and you'll see that it's going to delete everything that's outside of the island. So now my little island has my marble top on it. So now I can bring the marble back in, another Calcutta marble, and I can Control T will transform. If you hold the Shift key down, you can stretch the marble. If you don't, it will maintain its same aspect ratio. So kind of up to you what you want to do there. So I'm going to try to fit this all on my counters. And I might just squeeze it in a little bit to try to get a little bit more of that veining on my counters. I think a lot of people have a difficult time with making the pattern match the scale of the drawing. So spend a little bit of time doing that. I'm going to rasterize my layer, and then I'm going on my furniture plan, and I'm going to select the countertop areas. So if you don't remember which areas are the countertop, you may need to look at your project file or at the elevations. I'll open those up quickly. We can take a look at them just so you guys can refresh your memory. So this is the sink wall elevation here. So we know what part is countertop there. The range elevation. So we have a high cabinet here. So we just have a little bit of counter next to the stove and then this side. So our countertop is right here and then all of this. So now that I'm on the furniture plan, I want to select that area, and then I'm going to hold the Shift key down and select the other area of the countertop. Again, I'm going to make my selection of the areas that I want to keep the pattern in. And then I go to select inverse, and it selects everything else. I'm going to make sure that I'm on the marble layer, and then I hit delete. So it's going to delete everything that isn't countertop or that isn't supposed to be countertop. So now I have my lovely little marble counters. The scale's okay. It's maybe a little big, but I think it's going to be fine. I'm going to merge my two countertop layers and rename them Calcutta marble kitchen counters. Okay. So now my counters are done. That's a simple way to add a pattern, a texture to Photoshop without worrying about finding a repeatable pattern if you don't need one. If you do need a repeatable pattern, that's a little bit different. But let's go and do our sofa next. I want to show you a few extra tools here. So I went ahead and saved a textile. There we go. Oh shoot, it's saved as a web page. See this, how it's saved as a web page? That's really not very fun. Maybe I can export it as a JPEG though. Oh, I can. Okay. If your computer saves a texture as a web page, where did it go? Saved in the wrong place. You can, if you open it as an image file, I'm not sure what Windows will do, but you can always go to the internet. You can try to find a version that you can save as an image file. You can also take a screenshot. It's just going to have a lower quality, so you might, when you bring it into Photoshop, it might be a little pixelated. So just know going in that that could happen. Okay. So I'm going to put upholstery textile on this sofa, and that scale was way too big. So I'm going to make my image smaller, as small as I can, while still covering the whole sofa area. So I think that's probably small enough where I can get a sense of the texture, but it's not huge. Like if I had something and it was massive, the texture just looks off, your scale looks off, and that just sort of makes your rendering look a little goofy. And I'm actually going to rotate this because I want the pattern to go that way and not up and down, just for myself. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. We're going to rasterize the layer. We're going to come back to the furniture plan and select all of the areas of my sofa that I want the sofa fabric to be. I'm probably going to have different fabric for my pillows, so I'm not going to select those. I'm going to come up here, I'm going to go select inverse and come back to my upholstery textile and hit delete. So now it's going to put a nice little texture on my sofa. Next, I'm going to do the pillows, and then I'm going to show you how to add shadows, which you already kind of know, but you might not remember. Let's see. I thought I had some blue velvet. Oh, here's some green velvet. We'll use this. Lovely. Just gonna do the same thing. Get the green fabric on my pillows. Enter, rasterize layer. Do my selection tool. Now this, you see these little lines at the top of the pillow. You want to make sure you get both that and the pillow fabric there. Otherwise you're gonna have a weird white spot. Oops. Undo that. Make sure, be very precise. Might have to zoom in more. There we go. Okay, so all my pillows are selected. Go select, inverse, delete. Control D to deselect. Okay, so now I have a sofa with pillows. Fabulous. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and merge these layers, and I'm going to rename them sofa, just so I know what's laying on what layer. And now I'm going to use the dodge and burn tool to add highlights and lowlights. So I'm going to switch to a soft round brush. I want something much larger than that. And I want it to be nice and big. That might be too big. Okay, we'll do that. And then I'm actually going to use my selection tool, because if I don't and I put my burn tool on here, you see how it burns the back cushions too? And technically, if you have a shadow, they probably wouldn't show up there. I did a lot of burn. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my furniture plan, and I'm going to select only the bottom cushions. So now I have that selection made. I'm going to click on my sofa layer, go back to my burn tool, and I'm actually going to raise this exposure because it's a little low for me. And I can just click and hold the shift key down and then click back and forth. See how it creates a nice little shadow there? I can add a little bit up here on the arms, maybe here, because we have windows coming in, so you need to think about where your shadow's coming in from. But you see how it only creates a shadow on the areas that you have selected. So that looks pretty decent, I think. Next, we're going to add the flooring. Now, flooring is tricky because you have to find a repeatable, seamless pattern. And this is where it can take some time. So you can search seamless wood texture. Oh, Adobe Stock has one, but that doesn't have floor planks in it. For me, maybe we search floor, seamless wood floor texture. There we go. Here we go. This looks good, actually. Adobe Stock might be our saving grace. Oh, look at all of these. So a couple of things I look for personally is I want things that aren't, when you create a repeat, it's going to create kind of a crazy looking pattern. You're going to see, like if you zoom out and you can tell there's dark spots here, you're going to see the spots. Let's download a couple of these so you can see. I think I just downloaded I already have these licensed. Yeah, I must have already done this. We'll download a few of these so we can play around with it. So I'm going to create my wood floor. So what I want to do is I want to select the floor. I need to select all of the flooring. Oops, I'm on the wrong layer. So I'm coming in here. I'm going to leave contiguous checked because if I uncheck it, it's going to select everything that has a white background, which is not what we want. So I'm going to select contiguous, hold the shift key down, and just capture all of my flooring. I don't want the rugs. I do want the stairs. So that can take a little bit. And you could actually add those later. Let's just add the stairs later. We'll do just the rest of the flooring now. So I have everything captured, and I'm going to go to layer. I'm going to go, oh wait, I forgot I have to create my pattern first. Sorry. Okay, first I need to open up some of the wood flooring I downloaded. So let's just find those. Pick the first one. Okay, so I have my layer here. I am going to go layer, and I am going to go to, sorry, I'm having edit. Okay, edit and then define pattern. And it's going to use my whole image, and I can put like white oak. Let's say I wanted to change this. I wanted to adjust the color. I can also come out here and I can adjust the hue. So I could add, make it lighter, make it darker, do that with lightness and darkness. I can also like kind of adjust the coolness or warmth of the wood a little bit. You have to be careful, but you could come out and use the hue saturation tool to do that. So maybe let's just make it a little bit lighter. Actually, I'm just going to desaturate it a little bit rather than lighten it. I think that looks nicer. Okay, so now I'm going to define my pattern again. Edit and define pattern. So what we can do now is test our pattern. It's always good to just do a test run, and I like to do just like a big 20 by 20 custom, just a blank sheet, and I'm going to go to layer, new fill layer, and pattern. And you just hit OK, and it automatically selects one, but when you come to this drop down, you can come and select some of your wood flooring that you have. So you're going to want to navigate to the floor that you have saved, and you're going to play with the scale. So let's try 50%. That's still too big. Okay, this is not a repeatable pattern. Look at these seams. So Adobe lied to me and said this was a seamless wood texture, and this is not. A repeatable pattern will not have seams like this. So we can't use this Adobe stock image. Adobe is letting me down. But a couple of things you can see, like these really light and really dark boards, they create a pattern that is really visible, which can be distracting. So it's really hard to find a really good seamless pattern. So we're not using Adobe Stock. There's a place called SketchUp Texture Club. You can create a free account and you can download free patterns. You're probably going to want to do this because we're going to be using SketchUp textures in 2610. So just go ahead and create an account here. You're going to be looking for textures, and you can search for wood flooring. Maybe. We'll just do this. Architecture. Oh, there we go. There it is. Oh, look at these fun colors. We don't want bright colors. Okay, here we go. So we can find some wood here. Find a decent one. I'll just do this one. Okay, so if you want to pay for high res, you can, but we should be okay at a low res. Oh wait. I think it works. Don't know why it goes all the way to the bottom. There it is. Okay. Just making sure it doesn't have a watermark on it. Okay, no, this is going to be fine. So let's go and create a texture in Photoshop. So we're going to open one of the three that I opened. We're going to go to edit. We're going to go to define pattern. Okay, we can go to here and create a new fill layer to test it. And okay, so now we have a seamless pattern. Looks lovely. This one's pretty good. It's really dark. So I'm probably going to try to lighten this a little bit. It's looking really gray, which I don't love. And that's looking green. That's not gonna do it. Default. Let's go back. Okay, I'm just gonna lighten it up a little bit. I would maybe spend more time recoloring it, but I don't want to mess with that right now. So image or edit, define pattern, just to give myself a new version of that. And then I'm going to go back to my furniture plan where my selection is still selected, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to layer, new fill layer, and pattern. And I'm going to go all the way down to my lovely wood. Okay, and you know, the scale seems okay. Maybe I'm going to make it a little bit bigger just so I have a little bit of larger planks. And I like the direction. If I wanted to adjust that, I could change the angle. So you could play around with that. Oh, you guys, I missed this area. That's okay. Okay. So now we have our pattern fill. I can actually go in here. I'm going to move this under the furniture plan. I can go in here. I can select this. I can go to same thing. Find my pattern, change the scale, and it'll match perfectly. Yay! Okay, so once you have that set, you can flatten or merge these layers, and we'll rename it to stairs. But you want to make sure that you have it set, not stairs. Okay. Let's do a rug, and then I think the rest of this you should be able to do on your own. So I should go back and add the rest of this closet in there too. And then the stairs, you're gonna want to do the same thing where you just, you see I missed this little spot. You have to be very precise. So I can go, hold shift down and get all of these little pieces. And then you're gonna add, same thing, you're just gonna go to new fill layer pattern, add your floor. So if you do it all at the same time, it is easier. Hit OK. Oops, I missed that one. And then I could merge these. And then I can go in. One thing I see a lot of people forget is to add shadows to your stairs. So come in, make your selection, and if this is going up, you can use that little burn tool, and actually don't select all those at once. What am I doing? You're just going to want to select one at a time, because you want to be able to just do one side of the stairs. So you're going to do one stair at a time. If you're going up, the shadow would fall here. So you see I do that one, and then I can select this one, do my burn tool here, and then you have, it just gives it that depth. That's something that it takes time, but you know, you can, it really makes your drawing look nice. Okay, let's do a rug. I'm gonna find a vintage. Okay, this one looks cool. I'm gonna use this one. If you have a rug that has like the whole thing is pattern, like it's not a repeat pattern, then you're going to download the whole image. We'll see if this one is a web page. It is a web page. I'm gonna do that same thing though, where I just open the web page and then export it as a JPEG. Save it. Why isn't it saving? Okay. Okay, this is a rug. Okay, we'll get it saved there now. Okay. So I'm going to open, I'm actually going to open the rug because I think it has a background. So if you've already photoshopped the background out of your materials, you shouldn't have to do this step, but I do. So I'm going to go ahead and just select the background, get rid of it. I'm going to copy it and paste it into my plan here. I'm going to rotate it. Control T is the transform tool, which will bring up the scale and rotate options. And it looks like a pretty good size, so I'm not even going to worry about scaling it down. I think I like that size. So I'm going to go to the furniture plan, and I'm just going to, now I want to go in and select everything the rug falls under. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to hold shift. Falls under the coffee table, falls under the chair, goes under this table with a lamp on it. And I'm just going to go back to the rug layer and hit delete. So, whoops, I missed this part. You got to be precise. Oh, I deleted the, oh my goodness. Okay, I'm trying to go too fast. There we go. I probably missed it up here too. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now my rug is sitting underneath the furniture, but you don't have to scale it. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete that line because that will absolutely drive me nuts. Oops. There we go. So if you're like me, you're going to be very precise. I will tell you a funny story that I just learned about Noah. When he was doing this, when he took this class, he couldn't find a wood floor that he liked. And so he told me he laid every single plank individually in the room. He said he spent hours doing it. So if you're absolutely crazy like Noah, then, you know, you could do that. But okay. Let's talk, the rest of this you should be able to Photoshop relatively easily. For the tops of the cabinets, you can just color them the color of your kitchen cabinets. So you could do a fill, so you can just select them, you can fill them. And if you remember, if you look up, I'm just gonna look up a Sherwin-Williams, whoops. You guys don't need to see my text messages. Click the wrong thing. Let's see, actually look at White Dove. We'll get the hex code. EFEEE5. Okay, so I'm going to type that in here. And hit OK. And then I can fill. I want to do this on a new layer though. Try to avoid adding anything directly to your furniture plan. So now I can fill that with that color, and then I can go in and add a shadow. I'm really sorry if you can hear my dog basically like snoring in the background. She's loud. So I can just add shadows here because they don't go all the way up to the ceiling, so you would see sort of the edge of those cabinets. This is stainless steel, so you could find a stainless steel texture to fill it in. You can also, and I'll show you this a little bit later, but I'm going to rename this layer kitchen cabinets. So let's say I want to do stainless steel, but I don't want to find like a stainless texture because that's kind of hard. There's a tool where you can do, it's called the gradient tool, and it's kind of cool. And here we go. This is the gradient that I want. So it's going to create dark on the edges and then light in the middle, and you just have to pick your two colors. So I'm going to not do a blue, but I am going to do like a gray and a white. And I'm going to come out here and select my hood. If you just hit undo, it'll just undo the last selection you made instead of Control D, which deselects everything. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my, click on the gradient tool, make sure I have the correct gradient picked, and I have my colors, and then I'm going to just draw a line down. That little diamond is the center point. Oh, that's not very exciting. I need to make it much smaller. There we go. So now you can see how it has sort of that like darkness on the edges and lightness in the middle. And it looks like gradient. So it kind of looks like a hood, a stainless steel hood, right? Gets the idea across. For the sink, you are gonna go in and add just shading. You don't, unless you have like a, if you wanted to do a stainless sink or a sink that matches your counters, you kind of have that choice, but you can also just select that and you know, maybe I'll just put it on my kitchen cabinet layer. I can add, I don't know if the burn tool won't work because there's no color to it, so I will have to use the paintbrush. And I'm gonna make my flow like 30%. So I can just add like a little bit of shadow in the sink. Just a little bit. Just makes it look, gives it depth, makes it look realistic. Okay. I think that is enough for the floor plan to get you guys started. Let me quickly pull up what a completed floor plan looks like in a rendered floor plan. Just give me a second to find it. This is my completed rendered floor plan from back in the day. You can see I haven't changed much in what colors I like. I added a runner to the stairs, but everything is colored, and this should match the materials and textures you've selected for your renderings. So all the materials you've been shopping for, the furniture, that kind of stuff, it all needs to go together because you're going to create one poster that shows this. So that is the floor plan. I'm going to make a second video for the elevations.